You've heard it all before. The advice is everywhere. Treat her right. Show her you care. Be there when she needs you. You've probably been told that if you just give her everything, your time, your attention, your affection, she'll eventually see your worth and fall for you. They've made it sound so simple, like there's a formula to winning her heart. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. It's all a game. And you've been playing by her rules all along, believing that by doing everything right, you'll finally get what you want. But what they won't tell you is that these rules aren't designed for your victory. They're designed for hers. And as long as you keep playing by them, you'll never win. The truth is simple, but it's something no one has the courage to say aloud. She will only love you when you stop trying so hard to win her over. When you stop chasing after her every move, stop begging for her attention, and stop being the one who always makes the first move. It's in that moment, when you stop playing her game on her terms, that things begin to shift. When you stop putting yourself at her mercy, desperate for her validation, you'll finally see the power you've been giving away all this time. The moment you realize this, that you're not the one who needs to chase, that your worth doesn't depend on her approval, that's when everything changes. The game you've been playing, the one where you're always trying to prove yourself, ends. And a new dynamic begins, one where you are the one with the power, not her. She thought she had you all figured out. She believed her power lay in your reaction, your desperate need for her validation, your insatiable hunger for her attention. She was the queen of control, always knowing exactly what to say to get under your skin, when to pull you in and when to push you away, keeping you in a constant state of wanting more. She thrived on the game, knowing how to make you chase after her, how to keep you hooked, never quite giving you all of her. But what happens when you stop playing by her rules? What happens when you no longer react, when you don't fall into the same trap she's set for you? What happens when the silence between you no longer drives you crazy, when your absence no longer makes her wonder if she's losing you? That's when everything starts to change. When you refuse to chase, when you finally step back and stop running after her, when you disappear from the constant cycle of giving and seeking validation, something unexpected happens. The dynamic shifts. The power balance begins to tilt in your favor. She starts to chase you. She starts to wonder where you've gone, why you're no longer pursuing her, why you're no longer fighting for her attention. And that's when the real shift occurs. When you stop playing the game, you no longer become the one who is trying to win her over. You become the prize. Not because you suddenly tried harder or changed who you are, but because you stopped trying altogether. You stopped seeking her approval, and in doing so, you became the one who is desired, the one worth chasing. You see, she can handle your anger, your jealousy, even your complaints. She knows how to deal with the noise, the back and forth, the drama. In fact, it almost feeds into her control. She expects it. But your silence, that's something entirely different. It's the one thing she can't predict, can't manipulate, can't use against you. When you stop reacting, when you stop feeding into her games, she's thrown off balance. She's not prepared for it. It creates a void, an empty space that she has no idea how to fill. And that silence, that calm detachment, terrifies her. Because in that moment, she realizes she no longer has power over you. And that's the scariest thing of all. Silence doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you've given up or that you've stopped feeling. In fact, it means the opposite. It means you care about yourself more than you care about chasing her approval. It means you've finally stopped needing her validation to feel whole. You've realized that your worth isn't tied to her responses, her attention, or her affection. You've broken her game, and that's exactly what she can't stand. It disrupts everything she's known. She can't handle the fact that you're no longer playing by her rules, and what she fears more than anything is not rejection. It's being forgotten. The idea that you could move on, that you could live your life without her, without needing her to complete you, that's the one thing she can't stand. It's the quiet realization that she's no longer in control, and that scares her more than anything. And now she can't stop thinking about you. She tries to distract herself, but you're always there in the back of her mind. She checks your social media, scrolling through your posts, looking for any sign that you're still thinking about her, that you still care. She replays the last messages you sent, analyzing every word, every pause, trying to figure out what went wrong and what changed. Deep down, she's questioning herself, wondering, did he really walk away? Is he really gone for good? But she'll never admit it. Not to you, not to anyone. She'll keep up the facade, pretending she's unaffected. But the truth is, she's losing control. The game that once revolved around her, the one where she held all the power, has slipped through her fingers. And now, she's the one left wondering if she's lost you forever. When you stop reacting, you stop being predictable. You stop following the pattern she expects, and in doing so, you create a void of uncertainty. You become the mystery, the challenge, the one who got away. You're no longer a puzzle she can easily solve, a man whose every move she can anticipate. Instead, you become something elusive, something she has to chase after, something she can't control. And that's when the shift happens. That's when she starts questioning everything, that she can't figure you out anymore. She wonders, what's he thinking? What's going through his mind? Why isn't he reacting the way he used to? The power dynamic shifts, and the uncertainty surrounding you begins to gnaw at her. She no longer knows what to expect from you, and that uncertainty, that's what drives her wild. It's the unknown that hooks her, and it's the being unpredictable that makes you irresistible. Now, she's the one playing the game. But it's not the same game anymore. It's the game of regret, the game of doubt. And this time, the stakes are higher. She's not focused on winning you back. She's focused on getting the control back, the control she once held over your emotions, your actions, your every move. She's scrambling, trying to figure out how to make you react, how to get you back in her orbit. But here's the difference. You know better now. You've seen through the games and you've learned the truth. You've realized you're not a pawn in her game anymore, to be moved around whenever she feels like it. You've taken control of your own life, and now you're the king of your own kingdom. You make the rules, you set the terms, and you no longer let anyone dictate how you feel, how you act, or what you want. The power has shifted, and now she's the one scrambling to keep up. Here's the truth she'll never admit, no matter how much she tries to disguise it. The more you walk away, the more she'll find herself desperately wanting to come back. It won't be because of love, and it certainly won't be some grand gesture of affection. No, it'll be because she can't stand the uncertainty. She's used to being the one with the power, the one who holds the reins, the one who can control the situation and ultimately control you. It was always her game, her rules, her timeline, and she was comfortable with that, too comfortable. But now the power has shifted. It's no longer in her hands, no longer something she can wield. The balance has been tipped, and that's the hardest thing for her to accept. The moment you stopped chasing, the moment you stopped playing her game, everything changed. The narrative was no longer hers to dictate. She thought she had you figured out, that she could always pull you back when she wanted, that you would be there, waiting, always ready to jump when she snapped her fingers. But you proved her wrong. You walked away, and in that silence, in that absence, you said more than words ever could. Your absence became the loudest thing in the room. It echoed in her mind, reverberating with all the emotions she didn't want to confront. She didn't want to admit that you were the one who took control, the one who stopped playing by her rules. But the reality is, in that very moment, you set the new standard. The absence of your attention, your energy, your devotion, it hit her harder than anything you could have said. It spoke volumes. Now she's left wondering. She's left with the consequences of her own actions, struggling with the fact that she may have pushed you too far. She's forced to face the uncomfortable truth that maybe she's lost you for good. And no matter what happens from here, no matter how many attempts she makes to regain control, she will never forget this moment. This moment when you took your power back. This moment when you stopped caring about her game and started living for yourself, not for her approval, not for her validation, but for you. She thought the power was hers forever, that you would always be a pawn in her game, but now she's the one questioning everything. She's the one who feels the sting of the silence you created, and deep down she knows. This is her wake-up call. No matter how many times she tries, she can never take away the power you've claimed for yourself. You didn't just walk away from her. You walked into a new chapter of your life, one where you no longer give up pieces of yourself just to please someone else. The moment you stopped chasing, you gave yourself the chance to live authentically without the strings attached. You chose yourself over the illusion of her power. And that, more than anything, is what makes you irresistible. Not because you played by her rules, but because you created your own. And she will never forget the moment when you stopped playing her game and started playing your own. That's when you became the one she could never forget. The one who refused to settle for less than he deserves. The one who finally realized his worth and walked away with his head held high, leaving her to wonder if she had made the biggest mistake of her life.